Awareness by Anthony DeMello. Good, bad, or lucky? To me, selfishness seems to come out of an instinct for self-preservation, which is our deepest and first instinct. How can we opt for selflessness? It would be almost like opting for non-being. To me, it would seem to be the same as non-being. Whatever it is, I'm saying, stop feeling bad about being selfish. We're all the same. Someone once had a terribly beautiful thing to say about Jesus. This person wasn't even Christian. He said, the lovely thing about Jesus was that he was so at home with sinners because he understood that he wasn't one bit better than they were. We differ from others, from criminals, for example, only in what we do or don't do, not in what we are. The only difference between Jesus and those others was that he was awake and they weren't. Look at people who win the lottery. Do they say, I'm so proud to accept this prize, not for myself, but for my nation and my society? Does anybody talk like that when they win the lottery? No, because they were lucky. Lucky. So they won the lottery, first prize. Anything to be proud of in that? In the same way, if you've achieved enlightenment, you would do so in the interest of self, and you would be lucky. Do you want to glory in that? What's there to glory about? Can't you see how utterly stupid it is to be vain about your good deeds? The Pharisee wasn't an evil man. He was a stupid man. He was stupid, not evil. He didn't stop to think. Someone once said, I dare not stop to think, because if I did, I wouldn't know how to get started again. Well, there you have it. What's this all about? Well, of course, he basically says that it's natural to be selfish. Everybody's selfish. If you don't think about yourself, nobody else is going to think about you the way you think about yourself. You have to preserve yourself. That's self-preservation 101. So it's your first and most deep instinct, he says. If you don't opt to be selfish, how can you opt to be selfless? You'd be opting for non-being. So you shouldn't feel bad about being selfish. But that doesn't mean that you should act in a bad way. You know. And then he tells the story that the reason Jesus was so comfortable with sinners was because he understood that he wasn't any better than they were. How he differs from sinners, or how we differ from criminals, is in what we do or don't do, not in who we are. So if you're a criminal, you're a person, first of all, who breaks the law and does crimes. Or if you're a sinner, you sin. You go against God's will. You know, the Ten Commandments or whatever. Most of the sins are crimes. But sinning is missing the mark. You're trying to be the best person you can be. and to sin, as we talked about before. Sin, I once heard that sin was actually automatopoeia. I haven't looked any further than this, but to sin means to miss the mark. So if someone is shooting an arrow at you and it whizzes by your head, it goes like, sin, sin, you missed the mark. When I was doing my military training many years ago, we would be on the gun range, and the bullets would go much faster than the speed of sound. Actually, the sound that the bullet makes when the gun is fired is the bullet breaking the sound barrier. A lot of the sound is the bullet breaking sound barrier. What happens is the propellant is ignited by the firing pin. The gas expands so fast that it breaks the sound barrier. So the gas is expanding, but it has nowhere to expand because the tube, the barrel of the rifle, is strong and you have the bullet there. So when the cartridge, the propellant in the cartridge explodes, the gas expands, it pushes the bullet so fast down this tube as the gas is expanding behind it. Just like a pea shooter, all that gas in your mouth propels the pea out of the pea shooter, but this is happening with a bullet. It's going down this tube, the gas expanding so fast, the bullet flies out, and we would be a couple of 100 meters away sitting down below the targets. We'd have to raise and lower the targets. And we had this pointer where we could point to where the bullets landed. So we'd be sitting here looking up at these targets that were above our heads. We were underground, basically, and we would raise and lower these targets with ropes. So we would watch, and then you'd hear the bullet hit the target. It would go through the target, and you'd see a hole, and then, depending on how far away you were, you would hear the bang afterwards. So the bullet would come first, then there'd be a bang. And the further you were away, if you were 100 meters away, you probably wouldn't notice. If you were 200 meters away, you'd hear bang. If you were 300 meters away, you'd hear bang. And if you were like 400 meters away, I think we did 400 meters, you'd hear bang. So, what was the point of that? I don't remember what I was talking about prior, but anyway, when you sin, again, you'd miss the target. So, yeah, we would hear the bullets whiz by and hit the target, and then we'd hear the bang after. If they missed the target, we'd hear them whiz by. We'd be down hearing bullets whiz by us, and then we'd hear the gun go off afterwards. And I guess it's the same with arrows. That was my point. So he's saying, if you happen to win the lottery, you are very lucky. So when you're lucky, it would be foolish to be proud of that. How can you be proud of being lucky? That's like a lot of people are so proud that they were born in Canada. I didn't choose where I was born. I was lucky. I didn't choose to be a white person. That was the roll of the dice. That was chance. So hating somebody because they're a white person, or if they're a different color or a different race or whatever, a different way of thinking, we didn't have any choice in that. We didn't choose our parents. We didn't choose the history of our people, of our tribe or whatever. And these days it's very common for people to try to shame people for what their race did hundreds of years ago. But the truth is, there's no race in history that didn't do the same things. Every culture in the world has had slavery, for instance. Every country in the world. The Jews were slaves in Egypt for many years. Um, White people were taken in slavery hundreds of years ago and sold in Africa. Every culture, the Native Americans, the First Nation people, they used to enslave one another. They would fight. Every country had war. Every country took over other people's land. Every culture murdered their enemies, things like this. This is the history of mankind. But because in recent history, um, the slavery of the American South is recent, everybody's against white people today. But whether your history is a couple of hundred years ago or multiple hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago, it's all the same. But it was Great Britain that abolished slavery in modern times. And slavery is still alive and well in the world. There are 30 million slaves, at least, in the world today. Down in Africa on YouTube, you can see slave trading going on. This is modern times. This is terrible. And 30 million people, that's basically the population of Canada. There's probably the population of Canada today of people enslaved. But anyway, human beings are all the same. It's what you do and what you don't do. But what are you being proud about? You do good deeds. You shouldn't feel, that shouldn't make you feel vain. You just have to try to be the best person you can. And you do that on an individual level. You try as a person to make yourself better, and then you try to influence your friends and your family, and you choose to be around people who are trying to be better versions of themselves. And you can always be a better version of yourself, but you aim at the ideal image of the person you can be, the best version of yourself. And when you're old, like, you think of yourself when you're 80 and you look back on your life, you want to look back that you were trying to be the best version of yourself that you could be. You've been given your body and your mind. So take care of your body, take care of your mind, exercise the body, exercise the mind, work the mind. Use your faculties, your mental faculties, your physical faculties. Develop your talents and abilities. Try to be the best person you can be. Try to be kind and good to other people. But, that's nothing really to be vain about. It's selfish. What's selfish about it is you want to be the best version of yourself for yourself and for others. But ultimately, you first want to do that for yourself. Your life will be better. If you have money saved, it's going to make your life better. If your life is better, you can be a better person to other people as well. But it all starts with yourself and the decisions you make. Whether you wake up and try to be the best version of yourself, or some people are sleeping, they're committing crimes, they're sinning, they don't care about other people. These people need to wake up. They need to get with the program. They need to realize that, we're all here together. And you're not guilty of the sins of your father. And what that means is your forefathers. You often hear that everybody has a king in their family tree, their ancestors, but they also have criminals in their ancestors. They have saints and sinners in their ancestors. And if you go back far enough, most of us are related. if you believe the story of Adam and Eve from the Bible, everybody's related. There had to be original human beings that we all sprung from. Anyway, this video is getting kind of long. I didn't expect it would be so long on such a short couple of paragraphs, but anyway, something to think about. So remember, who loves you, baby? This guy. Any questions, any comments down below, please. And yeah, till next time, bye. Remember, you're somebody's favorite person out there, probably mine. If you're going through difficult times, I hope you enjoy spending some time with me, and this will make you feel that your troubles aren't so bad. And let's hope that our troubles won't last very long. Let's hope that soon our tough times will come to an end, and that better times will soon be here. Anyway, love you, and talk to you soon. Goodbye.